Emergency 2012 Review. The premise of this game is a really interesting one. Unfortunately, Emergency 2012 is less rescue game and more rescue me from this game. Don't get me wrong, it's a good thing that more developers are trying to break away from the command and conquer mold and make real-time strategy games that aren't military. More often than not though, the games fall short of the mark. In Emergency 2012, you take control of a group of rescue workers as they save people from various disasters. The disasters range from collapsed buildings and truck crashes to riots, fires and more. The campaign missions start with a catastrophe in a major European city. Your team of police, firemen, paramedics and doctors are sent into the disaster area to save lives, arrest troublemakers and generally be heroic. They do this by utilising various types of equipment related to their jobs, like tear gas for police, extinguishers for firemen or stretchers for paramedics. Your units are also provided with vehicles such as ambulances, cars, police vans and even helicopters. Your job is to tell these units and vehicles what to do, using the standard real-time strategy controls. That is, clicking to select units and then clicking again to get them to move or perform actions. It's easy to pick up and anyone with any experience of real-time strategy games will be familiar with the controls. It all sounds pretty fun, but trust me, it really isn't. For starters, the disasters are absurd. On one mission, the Eiffel Tower has fallen down due to a storm, and instead of concentrating on saving the injured, the French public decide to have an armed protest. During these strange apocalyptic events, you're constantly plagued by awful AI. Your units will do nothing unless you tell them, and enemies are so stupid that you can park a riot van 2 meters behind them and they won't even notice. The game improves slightly when you use its free play modes. They consist of an endless option and a challenge mode. In endless play, you gather resources by saving people and then spend it on new units and vehicles to save more people with. The challenge mode is the same, but the rescues become more frequent and harder. They're both quite repetitive, but it does remove ridiculous missions and the level design isn't half bad. The multiplayer mode is basically a co-op version of these, but there aren't many people playing online, so a LAN connection might be your best option. The graphics of Emergency 2012 are probably one of its best attributes, but that really isn't saying much. They aren't anything special, but the environments look pretty good, and the free play mode does have a nice day-night cycle. The animations however are wooden and unimpressive. In terms of sound, the background music is okay, and there's some good sound effects from screaming civilians and twirling helicopters. The idea was interesting, but it's so hard to get involved with the game without feeling really frustrated at the terrible AI and dreadful missions. Even dragging a friend into free play co-op doesn't salvage much enjoyment, although it is infinitely better than playing the campaign. Overall though, I think it's probably best to stay clear of this disaster. Amigo Reviews gives this one 4 out of 10.